Hello students, today we'll see the third unit in history, that is rural life and society. Introduction. So before the colonial period, Indian economy, so it depends on the agrarian economy. Agrarian means the agriculture economy. So Indian economy, it depends on the agriculture economy. Agriculture is considered as the primary occupation of the people. Many industries that depend on agriculture. So the industries like textiles, sugar and oil. So these industries are dependent on the agriculture. But the British government, they didn't adopt this system. So they introduced a three major land revenue system. So the three major land revenue system is introduced by the British India. So the system are permanent settlement, the Mahalwari system and the Rohitwari system. So the three major land revenue introduced by British government is permanent settlement, Mahalwari system and the Rohitwari system. The land revenue policy under the British. So three types of land revenue policy is introduced by British. So they are permanent settlement. So it is headed by Lord Cornwallis. Rohitwari system. So it is guided by Thomas Munro. Mahalwari system is guided by Lord William Bentinck. Permanent settlement. So Robert Clive, he got the rights to collect the land revenue in Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. So he implemented an annual settlement in these three places. Annual settlement means they want to pay the land revenue for 1 year. Okay, so this is introduced by Robert Clive in Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. So after that, Warren Hastings, he became the Governor General. So he has changed the annual settlement into the quinquennial, that is 5 years. Okay, so the land revenue is collected for 5 years and then he changed it back to the annual settlement again. So after Warren Hastings, Cornwallis, he became the Governor General and he changed the land revenue system into 10 years. So the farmers, they want to pay the land revenue for 10 years and this is introduced in the year of 1793. So this system is called permanent settlement. So this permanent settlement, it is followed in Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, Varanasi division of UP and the northern Karnataka. So it covers 19% of the total area of British India. This permanent settlement is also called as Zamindari, Jagirdari, Malguzari and Bisvedari. So these are the other names of permanent settlement, that is Zamindari, Jagirdari, Malguzari and Bisvedari. Now we'll see the features of the permanent settlement. So in the permanent settlement, the Zamindars, so they are recognized as the owners of land. Okay, so they want to pay the land revenue to the British company, that is British East India Company. So Zamindars are considered as the owners of land. They want to pay the land revenue to the East India Company. And the Zamindars, so they act as a bridge, they act as an agent between the farmers and the British East Indian Company. Cultivators means the farmers. So Zamindars, they act as an agent between the British India and the farmers. So the Zamindars, they want to pay the land revenue to the British East India Company, no. So the amount was fixed and it will not be raised for any circumstances. So they has fixed the amount and it will not be increased. They gave 10 by 11 of the revenue collected by them from the cultivator to the government. So the Zamindars, they collect the land revenue from the farmers. Cultivators means farmers. They collect the land revenue from the farmers and they'll pay it to the government. The Zamindars would grant patta, that is written agreements to the Rohits. Rohits means farmers. So the Zamindars, they'll give the written agreement to the farmers. Then the farmers became the tenants. So they are cultivating the crops in the land, no. So the ryots, that is the farmers, they are considered as the tenants of the land. They want to pay the land revenue to the zamindar. All judicial powers were taken away from the zamindars. So now powers are dumped in the British government. So the judicial powers from the zamindars are taken away by the British government. Now we will see the merits of permanent settlement. So under this system, by introducing the permanent settlement system, many of the wastelands and forests, so these lands became the cultivable lands. So in these lands, the crops can be cultivated. So these lands became to used. The zamindars became the owner of the land. So this thing is the first point in features of permanent settlement, right? So zamindars are considered as the owners of the land. And zamindars were made free from the responsibility of providing justice. So the judicial powers are taken away from the zamindars. So they were free from this responsibility. The zamindars remained faithful to the British government. This system secured a fixed and a stable income for the British government. So under this system, the farmers are paying land tax, land revenue to the zamindars. So they'll pay the amount to the British government, right? So in this system, the British government will get a fixed and a stable income. Now we'll see the demerits of the permanent settlement. The British government had no direct contact with the cultivators. Why this British government had no direct contact with the cultivators? Because the zamindars, they act as a bridge, they act as an agent between the British government and the cultivators. So the government didn't have any direct contact with the cultivators. The rights of the cultivators were ignored and they were left at the mercy of the zamindars. So zamindars ruled over these farmers now. So the rights of the farmers were ignored. The peasants were almost treated as serfs. Peasants is nothing but the farmers. So the farmers are treated by zamindars as a serf. Serf means adimaigal. So they are treated the farmers as a serf. This system was made the zamindars lethargic and luxurious. So under this permanent settlement system, zamindars are collecting the land revenue from the farmers. So they became lethargic and a luxurious people. Many conflicts between the zamindars and the peasants arose in rural Bengal. Many conflicts means many problems. So many problems that occurred between the zamindars and the farmers who are in the Bengal. Now we will see the second system, that is Royatbari system. So Royatbari system was introduced by Thomas Munro and he is the captain of the Royatbari system, which is introduced in the year of 1820. So this Royatbari system is introduced in Madras, Bombay and some parts of Assam and the Cook provinces of British India. In this Royatbari system, which is introduced by Thomas Munro, so in this system, the farmers are considered as the owners of the land. So there is no work for zamindars in this system. So farmers are considered as the owners. The British government had a direct contact with the farmers. So they collect tax directly from the farmers. Initially, they had fixed that the farmers want to pay the half of the estimated produce. So அவங்களுக்கு கிடைச்ச அமௌண்ட்டில் half amount pay பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. So after that, this is reduced. The land revenue is reduced to 1/3 of the produce by Thomas Munro. So after that, the amount of land revenue is reduced that they have to pay 1/3 of the produce. The revenue was based on the basis of soil and the nature of the crop. So they will fix the amount on the basis of soil and the nature of the crop which they will cultivate. So in this system, the rent will be changed after 20 to 30 years. So in this system, the agreement will made between the government and the farmers. So there is no work for zamindars in this system. In fact, the government later claimed that the land revenue was rent and not a tax. So they collect the land revenue as a rent but not as a tax. Now we'll see the salient features of the Rayatwari system. So revenue settlement was done directly with the ryots. That is, the revenue agreement was made between the government and the farmers. Measurement of field and an estimate of produce was calculated. Measurement of field means measurement of the total area and their estimated produce. Their estimated fields which they produce is calculated. Government fixed the demand at 45% to 55% of the produce. So they have to pay only 1/3 of the amount which they produce. So the amount is fixed. Effects of Rayatwari system. In most areas, the land revenue fixed was excessive. The ryots were hardly left with bare maintenance even in the best of seasons. So in many places, the land revenue which is fixed in many places was extremely high. So the ryots, the farmers, okay, they find it difficult to pay the land revenue to the government even in the best of season. So நல்ல சீசன்லையும் நல்ல அறுவடை பண்ணுற டைம்லையும் அவங்க வந்து land revenue pay பண்ணுறதுக்கு கஷ்டப்பட்டாங்க. Okay, under this system, the government exploited the farmers instead of zamindars. So in the permanent settlement system, the government will ask to collect the land revenue from the farmers. They'll ask to the zamindars, right? So in this system, the government directly exploited the farmers. Mahalbari system. Mahalbari system is introduced by Holt Mackenzie. It was considered as the modified version of this zamindari system. So Mahalbari system is the modified version of zamindari system and it is introduced in Ganga Valley and the northwest province and the parts of central India and Punjab. It is introduced in the year of 1822. So after this, Lord William Bentinck, so he made some changes in the Mahalbari system with the guidance of Robert Martin's Bird. So the change is made in the Mahalbari system in the year of 1833. Here the land revenue is fixed based on the farm produce of a mahal or a village. So initially the farmers, they want to pay 2/3 of the amount in the farm produce. So they want to pay 2/3 of the amount as a land revenue. After that, Lord William Bentinck, so he reduced the land revenue to the 50%. So they want to pay 50% of the total amount of farm produce. So வர்ற விளைச்சல்ல வந்து 50% pay பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க. The village as a whole, through its headman or lambarder, was required to pay the revenue. So they appoint a leader or a lambarder. So he is responsible to collect all the land revenue from the people. So this system, this Mahalbari system is adopted in Agra, Awadh, and later it is extended to some parts of the United Provinces. Now we'll see the salient features of Mahalbari settlement. So in the permanent settlement, the zamindars are considered as the agent between the government and the farmers. But in the Mahalbari system, the lambarder, so they act as an agent between the government and the villagers. So it was a village-wise assessment. One person could hold a number of village. So one person means the lambarder. So he is the leader for number of villages. The village community was the owner of the village common land. So village community, so they are considered as the owner of the land. So the land belonged to the village community. Effects of the Mahalbari system. So in the Mahalbari system, the lambarder, so they enjoyed all the special discounts and they misused it for their personal purposes. So this system brought no benefit to the cultivators. So they have misused for their personal use. No, so the cultivators, the farmers, they didn't get any benefit from this Mahalwari settlement. It was a modified version of the zamindari system and benefited the upper class in villages. So initially we have studied that Mahalwari system is a modified version of zamindari system. So it benefit only the upper class peoples in the villages. Impact of the British land revenue system on the cultivators. So now we have learned about the land revenue system which is introduced by the British East India Company. No, so first system is permanent settlement, and second one is Rayatwari settlement, and third one is Mahalwari settlement. So under these three settlement, only the British people will get the fixed income. So their motive is to maximize the income of the land. But the farmers, they didn't get any benefit from this land revenue system. The peasants were overburdened with taxation. Due to the tax burden and famines in general, the people suffered in poverty and burdened with debts. They had to seek the moneylenders who became rich and acquired land from the peasants. The farmers, if they didn't get the required amount from the farm produce, but they want to pay the land tax to the British government. So this seemed to be an overburden to the farmers. So due to the tax burden and the famines means panjam, okay. So due to the tax burden and the famines, so people suffered in poverty and burdened with debts. So if they want to pay the land revenue, they want to lend money from the money lenders. So they are burdened with the debts. Money lenders means வட்டிக்கு பணம் கொடுப்பாங்க இல்லையா அவங்க. ஸோ தே வாண்ட் டு கெட் தி மணி ஃப்ரம் தி மணி லெண்டர்ஸ். ஸோ அப்போ அவங்களுக்கு அது ஒரு கடன் தானே. ஸோ burdened with debts. So they had to seek the money lenders who became rich and they acquired land from the peasants. So sometimes the money lenders, they'll give the money to the farmers, and instead of that they'll get the land from the farmers. The zamindars, the money lenders and the lawyers, they exploited the poor farmers. So they cannot survive their life, and the ability and continuity of the Indian villages was shaken. So they find difficult to survive their daily needs and their daily activities. Cottage industries disappeared on account of the import of British goods, and the peasants had nothing to supplement their income. So British has imported some goods. So the small industries, so their business had faced a great loss. So the farmers had no way to supplement, to increase or to gain their income. The old body of custom was replaced by new apparatus of law, courts, fees, lawyers and formal procedures. So the old rules was replaced by the new law and their fees, etc. And so finally, farmers are considered as the owners of land, and the farms which they produce, so they didn't get any benefits from this British land revenue system, but only few peoples, so they got benefits from this, that is like zamindars and the lambarders. So the farmers, after this, they start their revolt against the British government, against the British East India Company. Thank you, students.